How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to talk about the Brotherhood Ancient. Stick around. Righto, the Brotherhood Ancient. Let's just go over his stat line to start with. He has a move of 5, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness both of 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, a leadership of 8 and a 2+ save. And he is armed with a Stormbolter, frag and crack grenades. Alright, so he doesn't come with any combat weapons. Alright. Now he has one option, and that is to take one Nemesis Falchion. The good news with Falchions is you don't need 2 of them anymore to get the extra attack. So basically you take a Falchion and he goes to 5 attacks. I would probably recommend taking it wherever you can with the points, because so much in the Green Knight Army synergizes with the Nemesis weapon keyword. You can get the +1 damage. You actually have something that you can do in combat, like typically just doing 4 attacks with nothing is kind of ordinary. At least you're getting the extra attack, and with a bit of AP is actually something. And you're playing a close combat army, so yes. Brotherhood Ancient, take a Falchion. That puts him at 105 points. Giddy up. So his abilities, he has Knights of Titan, obviously, and Teleport Strike, obviously. Now he's in Terminate Armor, so he does have his Crux Terminatus 5+ save. Now this is where he starts to get some cool stuff. Now, he does start to differ a little bit from the Paladin one. I do like the fact that the Brotherhood Ancient and the Paladin Ancient both have their separate roles, but I'll talk about the Paladin Ancient in its own video. So Sacred Banner is an aura. While a friendly Brotherhood keyword core unit is within 6 inches of this model, add 1 to the leadership characteristics of models in that unit. Alright, so leadership buff, not too bad. In addition, while a friendly Brotherhood core infantry unit, so infantry, not Dread Knights unfortunately, is within 6 inches of this model, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of models in that unit. So +1 attacks is actually decent. The issues you have with this though is being 6-inch range. Often when you charge away from things, you're going to be a little bit out of range. Now there's 2 ways you can get around that. The first way is through the Preservers. They have a Warlord trait, which is add 3 inches to the range of this Warlord's aura abilities to a maximum of 12. Alright, so that takes him from a 6 to a 9, not too bad. The other one, it's a CP and it is called... The stratagem is called Finest Hour. Use your stratagem at the start of any phase. Select 1 Grey Knight's character unit from your army. Till the end of the turn, add 3 inches to the range of that unit's aura abilities to a maximum of 12 inches. Alright, so if you're going to want to get this guy from teleporting in, bang, down. Some guys charge in, they move their 9 to get into combat with things. They're suddenly out the side of the 6. This one here, you want to pop it. So start of any phase is where it's important. Some of these stratagems that work like that, they say in your command phase. This one says any phase, all right? Until the end of the turn, 3 inches to range. Cool. So you can have a dude just a little bit behind, and then bang, you've got the extra attack that way. Now, he does also have a special relic. It's not too bad, but I do prefer other stuff on him. The relic is called the Banner of Refining Flame. It's a returning relic that's come back from older codexes. It's just a little bit different now. So it is ancient model only. The bearer can attempt to perform the following psychic action. Okay, so psychic action means if you do a psychic action, you can't do any other psychic abilities that turn. So you won't be able to do this, then drop a CP to do a second power because it's a psychic action. Refining Flame, it is Warp Charge 6. In your psychic phase, the bearer can attempt to perform this psychic action. If completed, each enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. Alright, that's not too bad. It does pair well with that Warlord trait, which gives you the +1 to your mortal wounds. The only thing is, it's 6 inches. It's not super big. It's not too bad. It's just, it falls into that kind of issue where there's other things in the army which are a bit better. Okay. Now, being a Grey Knight, he is a Psyker. He does get to take 1 Dominus power, and he also gets to do 1 cast and 1 deny. Now, he does have the Brotherhood keyword, so whatever Brotherhood you take, he's going to get the Brotherhood power and Smite as well. So he'll be rocking 3 powers. I personally like to take him with a buffing kind of power. He's usually going to be in the thick of it. There is another way I do actually like to run him, and that will be probably how I run him in a battle report coming up soon. Could be out before or after this video, I don't know, but we'll see. What I like to do, I actually make him the Warlord in the Prescient Brethren. And then I give him a special psychic Warlord trait called Divination. Divination is a psychic action and has a warp charge of 6. In your psychic phase, this Warlord can attempt to perform this action. If completed, you gain 1 CP. Okay, so what I'm finding with the Grey Knights book is if you take a battalion, you run out of HQ slots for good guys there. So you need to suddenly find a slot somewhere else to get another character, just to get that little bit more buffing. Now you could also go, well, I'll just run lots of dudes and not worry about psychic cool characters and stuff. But I think with the bonuses you get from taking a psychic dude or another character, it's so much better, because what I do find is I run out of places to put my special abilities and also my Warlord traits and the gifts of the prognostic cards as well. So what I do is I take this dude and I give him Prescient Brethren, so then he can also ping from the Foresight and the Fatal Precognition psychic power, but I don't worry about that because I go Divination as the Warlord trait. I then spend the CP to give him a second Warlord trait. So the second Warlord trait I take on him is the Unyielding Anvil. Now, because he is there to buff other units, and because the Unyielding Anvil is an aura, if I do drop that strat on him to go the extra 3 inches, this also benefits from that too, being an aura. So while a friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit is within 6 inches of this Warlord, that unit has the objective secured ability. See the Warhammer 40,000 core rulebook for that. If a model of such a unit already has this ability, that model counts as 1 additional model when determining control of an objective marker. So he goes from being just a regular guy running around the banner to this badass that can either start on the board and be teleported by someone else, or he can drop in where I need him and start doing things. Basically every turn I will be doing the Divination to get 1 CP back. So 9 out of 10 times he will start on the board. The odd occasion he won't. He is also my guy that I give the can't think of the name of it. So yes, I give him a vision. That's because the other guys in my army, I've got Drago, so he can't take anything. Then I've got a Librarian with the Gem of Inoctu, and then I've got a Grandmaster Dreadnought running Servant of the Throne for a 3+ invulnerable save. So I needed someone in the list that's going to give me Foretelling of Locus. This dude is the perfect guy for that. So he gets Foretelling of Locusts, which allows me to redeploy stuff once we know who's going first. Take up to 3 core units and just either put them in reserve, place them in a different place on the table, and then I can do that. So he's the guy that carries that for me. And I also actually give him a relic called the Fury of Demios. Now, psychic actions aren't the same as other actions. A psychic action, you can do the psychic action, and then you're free to then shoot and assault, etc, etc. The other types of actions, like erasing the banner, things like that, that prevents you from shooting, assaulting, and things like that after. So if you get this dude in, he does his Divination, gets an extra CP, does or doesn't matter. He can then shoot and then assault. So typically he'll be not so much into the combat, he'll be more supporting, things like that, giving off his 2 auras that benefit and help guys. And then the Fury of Demios is probably better put onto a regular Stormbolter than a Mastercrafted Stormbolter. So this then gives me Rapid Fire 3, being on a Terminator, he gets the 6 shots every time at 24 inches, Strength 5, Neg 2, 2 damage. So he's going to help mow down guys as well. If I do need to get him into combat, I will, but more or less getting him into combat for me would be using that combat charge to get more distance, to keep him up with everyone else basically. So that's how I am actually running my Brotherhood Ancient. So he is my Warlord. I've got Drago, Grandmaster, Nemesis Dread Knight, and a Librarian, and none of those 3 made the cut. The Brotherhood Ancient made the cut. So let me know what you think. Do you love him? Do you hate him? Do you not love him? Whatever. I'm interested to know. I am finding him more and more awesome as I go along. So right now, Rapier is the hotness. They get that psychic ability that uses the extra attack. That also does stack with that. Because I'm running Prescient Brotherhood though, I don't get that extra attack psychic power. This dude lets me get a bubble of extra attacks as well. So being able to do some extra mortals and things like that, and also the ability to put the Prescient Brotherhood's stratagem on units, getting them to reroll the hits and wounds as well, buffing that with the extra attack, it stacks, you know. Having a bunch of guys run in with falchions, getting 5 attacks each, with rerolls ones to hit on hits and rolls and wounds, it stacks up. But anyways, I waffled on enough. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, all the usual, and definitely comment on whether you like the Ancient or not. Thank you. Till next time.